I just want to tell you that this is going to be a long video, but it is going to be worth it. Just trust me, if you have the time, it's going to be worth it. Fast forward through it if you have to. Come back to it later and get the details, but it is going to be lengthy, and I hope you enjoy it. So let me know. Hey everybody, it's Jill with Angel Creations. Welcome back to my craft room. Today we are going to try something new. I'm going to take this brand new kitchen strainer from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to make it old and rusty. And we're going to make a little candle holder out of it, believe it or not. We're going to use some little flowers from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to try to incorporate some of these pip berries that I have left over, bits and pieces, in this. And we're going to use one of the Dollar Tree battery operated candles and some Waverly wax, some cinnamon, and some apple barrel barn red. And I'm just going to start mixing that in a little cup container, like the little Jello shot containers that the Dollar Tree sells. And I'm just going to mix a little bit of red and my Waverly. Whoops, that was probably way too much. But the good thing about these little containers are they have a little cover, so if you want to save it, because that was a lot, if you want to save the color, I'm trying to make the color rust. So I'm going to add a little bit of my, it's just apple barrel. I got a little coffee stirrer here. And we're just going to redden up that brown paint just a little bit. And then we'll add some cinnamon. And cinnamon gives it both the texture and the color. So I'm going to add a little bit more red. Barn red from Apple Barrels, 50 cents at Walmart. I love Apple Barrel paint. I use it all the time here in my craft room. Okay, that's giving me a little bit better rust color. So I'm going to go with that, and then we're going to put the cinnamon on top of the paint after we paint our little kitchen colander thing here. What do they call it? Oops. Alright, so they're calling it a mesh strainer. So let's cut our tag off and get rid of that. And I want this whole thing, I'm going to end up doing the handle more brownish and woodish, but we're going to paint this whole thing in this color first. And I took a makeup sponge from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to be dabbing this because I want to do the screen. I want to do the whole, you know what I want to do though, before I do that, I'm going to take my pliers because I won't be able to touch it after, and I'm going to put a crook in it. I want this to be sitting, I can't make the shape. You'll see. I'm going to bend this forward. I'm going to get myself all caught in my, I got ahead of myself. So I'm going to try to gently bend this without breaking it. Because I want that to sit more like a ladle. Okay. Let me try getting it a little bit more. Okay. It did come apart a little bit right there, but that's okay because we want this to be old looking. Okay, I bent my screen a little bit. A little more bend in this one over here. over on this side. I have the worst strength. I used to be so strong when I was younger. Strong. Okay. So now we have it like this. Bend this back a little bit. So we have it mostly bent. See? So now I'm going to just dab my paint all over this. The bottom, the sides. It's going to be messy. It just works better dabbing this onto the metal because a brush, you could use a brush if you don't have one of these. It just seems to go on a lot better if you have a sponge that you could daub it with. Even if you just take a kitchen sponge, cut up a piece, just gets into all the nooks and crannies a little bit better. And I like that better, so it's easier, especially in these little nooks and crannies of the screen mesh. And again, we want this to look really old and antique and beat up. We don't want it to look like its brand new black handle is from the Dollar Tree. We just want it covered. And then I'm really trying to make my handle look like wood. When it's all done, hopefully it will look like wood. The handle you can kind of brush because there's no really nooks and crannies in that. So we'll just use our sponge and brush. Get the cracks there. And then we have to give this a blow dry, and then we will probably put on another coat. So let me wipe my hands. We'll start drying it. Let me get a baby wipe. We'll start to dry it, and I won't bore you with the whole drying time. Whoopsie. Because we're going to do several drying steps. So let's just start drying. I don't want to touch it because it's all wet. And I love this already. If you could see this up close when it's dry, I'll show you before I put another coat on. Okay, so this is what it looks like on its first coat. Pretty cool already, huh? But it's not done yet. We're going to do another coat, and then we're going to put some cinnamon on it. I am going to use a brush this time because I want to get heavier coverage of my paint. So I'm going to just do the handle for a moment because I'm going to do some different colors on the handle. So I'm going to use the paint that I made on the handle one more time, getting in that little hole at the top. And then we're going to use a couple of other colors to make it look like wood. Old wood, but wood. And I really don't have a system or a formula. I'm just going to be adding a bunch of different colors to the handle. And I'm going to, not a bunch, I'm going to use, so we got the antique wax in here with the red, right? With a little bit of the Apple Barrel Barn red. Now, I'm not even going to take the color off this brush. I'm going to use a little bit of Waverly Hazelnut chalk paint. And I'm going to use a little truffle chalk paint. And see what we get. I'm trying to make it look like wood. I'm just going to use what's on the cover, the cap. And I'm going to put a little bit more on. And this is still wet, so we're going to be mixing it, you know, what's the word I want? You'll see. So I just want this in a few places. because I don't want the whole thing truffle. Blending is the word I was looking for. Just trying to make it look like wood. You see what we have going on? Alright, and then I'm going to pick up the hazelnut real quick, and I'm going to do the same thing with the hazelnut. I am going to take some of it off the cap with a stick, because I don't want to put my dark paintbrush. Actually, I'll just take it out of the bottle. There wasn't enough on the cap. And I'm just going to put it on my paintbrush, because I don't want to get my dark brown in my light. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to start pushing the paint on the stick here to make it look. And you'll see with the brush, it just kind of gives it a little, almost like a wood grain. I'll show you. And if you go too heavy on one color, you just can go back with the darker color. You're just trying to make this look like wood so that it doesn't match completely the rust on your basket, if that makes any sense. Because your metal will be rusty, but your wood won't be rusty. Alright, so there we have it. That's what we have so far. And if you drag your brush as it gets dry, it kind of gives you a wood grain. So I am going to just dry this up a little bit and see what other color. We might put a little bit more of the truffle on it. Just dry this up a little bit. Love this tool. This looks old. I should have taken a picture. I forget. I forget every time to take a before. And I don't have another one, but I should have taken a before and an after, because no one's going to believe that this was brand new $1.25 little colander strainer thingy wingy. Alright, so that is giving us our wooden handle. I'm gonna, whoopsie, almost lost the truffle, see? I'm gonna take a little bit more of the truffle and I'm gonna kind of dry brush it on. This is really not one of those brushes for that, but I just want a little bit darker. Couple of areas. And then I'm going to leave this alone for a minute, and we're going to put our cinnamon. Oh, we're going to put our, I'm going to cover all this because God forbid we spill it all. Put these out of our way, wash my hands a little bit so that what I touch doesn't transfer. And then we're going to give our basket another coat, our metal another coat of the paint that we made in a rust color. You're going to hear my lawn man, he's out there. And we're going to use the brush because I want a heavier coat. And then we're going to dry that. Actually, can I even touch that? I'm not even sure I can touch. I can't really touch the handle yet. So I'm going to put you on pause. Let that dry a minute. Alright, I'm going to hold it. It's pretty much dry, so I'm a mess anyway. Oh my God, I got to tell you guys. I went to... So we're just going to put another... While I'm talking, I'm just going to put another coat of our paint that we made on the metal parts. So I've been giving my nails, I'll tell you what, most of the time I paint my nails, not because I have beautiful long nails, but because I'm a crafter and I get stuff under my nails all day long, and sometimes I just don't have time to sit and do my manicure before I need to run out to the store, or you know, what have you. Sometimes I am totally like interrupting my craft because I want something to go on it, and I will run to Hobby Lobby. Anyway, I totally did that the other day. I was getting some stuff together to do a craft with you guys, and I was in the pre-planning stages of the craft, and I needed some scrapbooking paper. So I ran to Hobby Lobby. I really literally just like looked at the clock and said, all right, I'm just gonna go get this done right now. All right, so this has a good layer of paint on it, and I am now going to get a piece. I should have already had this done. A piece of parchment paper, and I am just going to start putting my cinnamon all over the wet paint. Why did that happen? Inside my, where are my shaker top is inside. Oh, because it comes off this way. Sorry. So I ran to Hobby Lobby to get some scrapbooking paper, and as I am, this happens to me all the time, I'm telling you, it's horrible. And I try to like give myself a good little once over before I leave the house. All right, so look, we got cinnamon, see, and we'll Mod Podge this. Okay, so I'm at Hobby Lobby, and I was I'm putting that next to me for a second so I can put some, I'm gonna save this cinnamon for a minute, and we might use that again, so I don't want to put it back. I'm not putting it back in the cinnamon thing. This is a craft cinnamon. I wouldn't use that in my house. Yeah, let's put this down too. And so I take out my money and I start paint. Look it, can you see my nails? I don't know if you can, but that's not dirt. That's this. That's all that is. I have a scrub brush on my sink. I try to do all the things before I run out, but I have gone out and been like waiting for something in line or something, and I will all of a sudden notice that I have like vinyl from my Cricut stuck to my arm, or it's always stuck to my clothes. I always, if I've worked on the Cricut and I've gone out that day, I try to look in the mirror, and if somebody's home with me, then I will say, you know, what's the back look like? But anyway, I have a thumbprint over here that I can't stand. I gotta fix it. So anyways, I was so embarrassed because I know what it is, but it's so gross. I don't like seeing, especially on men, I don't like men with long nails, and I hate it when they have dirt under their nails. That grosses me out. Can't handle that. Alright, I'm going to give this a little blow dry with our cinnamon. I let it sit for a little bit, and we're going to blow off the excess, and then I'm going to assess it and see if I want more rust or less rust, and then we will, once it's dry, we're going to give it a little Mod Podge. So yeah, I mean, nobody says anything to me. Nobody says, ma'am, you got dirty nails, because who would say that? I guess people would say that. I hope not, but ooh, it smells so cute. It smells so cinnamony. But yeah, so anyways, I need to put a sign on my forehead that says crafter, please excuse my appearance. You know, I don't know. It seems like no matter how hard I try, I'm at the Dollar Tree with paint on me or something stuck to me. I think I told you guys one time I was at Publix. I was spray painting. It was back in the for St. Patty's Day, and I was spray painting something, and no, it was a tumbler. I was spray painting, and I ended up getting, I was in bare feet outside, and I ended up getting it all over my feet. And I slipped on my slides, and off to Publix I went, and I was standing in line, and I looked down at my feet, and they were all green spray paint. I was so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed because I know people saw that. But anyway, I have to pay more attention. I am blonde. I live up to the blonde roots. And I do have to add color these days, but if you look at my eyebrows, you can tell I'm a true blonde. So, I don't know. A little forgiveness goes a long way. I'm a mess, a hot mess. Anyway, let's see if I can touch this. Almost. Almost. You know, because I'm usually like, I'll check in the mirror before I leave, and I'll look at my hair, look at my face, make sure that, you know, look at my teeth, nothing, no broccoli in my teeth. But, and then I kind of give myself a glance, you know, but I don't like go like this or like this, and so you never know if you run into me what I'm gonna look like. I met a really nice lady. I don't know if you're watching. I don't know her name. I met her in the Zephyr Hills Dollar Tree, and she has her own show. I'm gonna plug it if I get it right, and it's Southern Crafts Corner? No, Southern Corner Crafts. Oh, I'm so sorry. I will try to put her, I will link her channel in my description. How's that below? 'Cause I'm not getting her name right. Sorry. And I met her in the Zephyr Hills Walmart, and it was so nice to meet her, but it was one of those days where I was a total mess. I was hoping I wouldn't run into anybody I knew. Alright, that should be good. And I didn't run into anybody I knew, but I ran into someone new. And she's really sweet, and she has a really good show. This is what we got, a nice little rusty, bent, old looking, well, they're calling it a wire mesh thing, but we're gonna call it a little strainer. All right, now, let's see, why don't we put a little Mod Podge on this to protect it right now? Or you could spray it. We could spray it. I'm gonna do Mod Podge. Yeah. I'm gonna do Mod Podge, and I'm gonna do it in the matte. I'm not gonna do it shiny. I don't want it shiny. I want it old and rusty. And we should get a brush for this. Maybe like a dauber kind of brush. Do I have a dauber? we'll use a sponge. We'll use a sponge brush. And we're just going to daub our metal with our Mod Podge, just to keep our cinnamon. And we might even add a little more cinnamon on it. Who knows? So that's my story about my nails. So normally I keep them covered, because that way if I have a little Mod Podge, or not Mod Podge, but a little bit of my antique Waverly wax or paint or anything I've been into that day, it doesn't show quite as bad, you know, because I have a color on my nails. But my nails, I'll tell you, I went to Tennessee for Christmas to spend it with my son, my daughter, and my grandson. And I did up my nails. You know, it was a holiday thing, and I just wanted them a little bit longer, so I did them up. And I glued them on with nail glue from Kiss, and those nails killed my nails. I'm never gonna do that again. I used to get my nails done, you know, the acrylics, and I got a really bad, I mean, I did it for years and years and years. Every 2 weeks, faithfully, I was in there getting a fill. It was something my mom and I did together, and it was really a nice thing that we did. You know, it was fun. We looked forward to it. We'll go out for lunch, and so anyway, I'm really just dabbing this on wherever I see that it needs it. I'm putting a little bit in the screen as well, just because it seals it, you know, doesn't hurt at all. So I'm just putting a little in there too. So I got an infected panicula. That's what they call it. It's on the side of your nail, on the edge here, and down near your cuticle. And it was so painful that I stopped getting my nails done. And I had to go to the hospital, and they had to drain it. It was bad. So anyway, I stopped getting my nails done because I didn't want to continue paying for something that was going to bring me to the hospital, you know. So I'm going to put a little dusting of my cinnamon in just a few little spots. Just a few. So I stopped getting my nails done, and I just paint my own nails, and they don't grow. They're not the best, but that's all right. They're mine. They're what God gave me, and I use them. And so I try to pretty them up. Shake that excess really, really good. Put some rust on the back up here. Cinnamon makes really good rust. Shake it. Alright, we can get rid of that cinnamon now. And let's put our thing back down here. And let's cover up the paint that we made so we don't have any accidents. Put that aside. Leave our cinnamon aside. I'm going to wrap this brush up in a baby wipe. Actually, I have a water here, so I'll put it in the thing of water. And now I'm just going to give this Mod Podge a little bit of a dry. And when it's not sticky, I'll be right back. Okay, that should be enough. Let's put this aside for a moment, because now we're going to do the same process on one of the Dollar Tree votive candles. I'm just going to, you get a 2-pack, they're LED, and you get 240 total hours of battery time. So we're going to do the same process. We're just going to zhuzh it up with a little bit of our paint that we made. Get another paintbrush here. This will do. And you're going to try very hard not to get it on your little flame piece in here. I don't think you can see that yet, but we're going to just paint this up, being very careful to go around our little flame in there. And this is also going to get cinnamon and get all nice and grubby. We're going to make it look like a grubbied brown wax candle. And this is going to need a few coats as well. And I might, you know, I didn't do this, but I'm going to tell you to because I should have. I should have given this a little sanding, the plastic, just a little bit of sanding before I added paint. But I didn't. It's too late now. So I'm going to go with it. But I suggest that you maybe just do a little light sanding with some sandpaper or a sanding sponge. It might just hold your paint a little better. I'm using wax, antique Waverly wax chalk paint though, so a little bit of apple barrel in it, but I'm hoping that it will be good enough. Alright, so I'm going to give it another quick coat, and then I will be right back. Okay, so this is 2 coats, and now we're just going to let that finish drying by itself because I want to put a little tag on our little strainer. So we're going to just, we're going to, where did I put it? We're going to put, okay, so this is a little wooden tag. They come in a package of 8, I believe, at the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to give this a very little dry brush from my antique Waverly wax, and I mean barely any. Just in fact, I'm going to spray it with water so it will spread better. Okay, I don't need it soaking wet though, so I just want it nice and damp. Okay, and then I'm just going to dab my brush in the cap. You see what I'm doing? And I'm just going to dab it on. I'm about ready to change my pad here, so I'm just using that. And I'm just dry brushing, and now I'm just going to go back and forth over it, going with the wood grain. I like to come in mostly from the edges because it gives it a nice outline, but you don't have to. And I'm going to do the other side as well. Which I did not spray with water, but that's okay. You can see though it comes out darker because I did not spray it with water, so this is a good time to show you the difference. Okay, this side, let me get these edges real quick. Get those edges. I need those edges done. Okay, this side is dry with a dry brush, and this side is wet and dampened with a dry brush. See the difference? So I'm going to use the lighter side for this craft, I think. Let's see. Let's pretend it's hanging here. Yeah. Yep, I'm going to use the lighter side. But we are going to write, well, I'm going to write a word on here. I should have, well, I'm not going to should on myself. I shouldn't do anything. I am going to hand write the word thyme, you know, like the herb. Not T-I-M-E, but T-H-Y-M-E. And we're going to be, because around our little grubby candle, we're going to have some of the stuff that is it's the stuff that we use for carrots, but it kind of looks like thyme. Got the little buds there, So we're going to use that. We're going to call it Thyme. And that's going to sit around our little grubby candle. So I'm just going to take a paint marker and I'm just going to write the word Thyme. And I am going to start in the middle with my Y and then work my way out to my edges because I don't write very well. And I don't position my words very well either. But alright, so T-H-Y. So then we'll do M-E. My paint marker isn't the best either. And then we'll do H and T. Now I'm going to add a little ball to the end of each letter, just detailing it up, but you don't have to do that. And I'll give you a good look. I have terrible writing, but that's what we got. That's what we have. Alright, so if you have a Cricut, or you can use Dollar Tree stick-on letters or stamps, even little letter stamps, that would be great too. Alright, so now we're going to put that aside. Actually, it's bleeding, so if it bleeds too much, we'll change this tag because I don't want it to bleed, but it does look like it's bleeding a little. So let's put that aside to dry, and now let's zhuzh up a little round candle. We're going to put our Mod Podge and cinnamon on it. So I'm just going to put a pile of Mod Podge on my wax paper. It's not wax, it's actually parchment. And I'm just going to use, I think this is the same brush that I put the brown on with. So we got to be careful not to go to get it on our flame, because we don't want cinnamon on our flame. I did get paint on my flame, but I was able to take a baby wipe after the paint was dry and go around and wipe off my little flame. And you don't have to put your cinnamon everywhere on your candle if you don't want to. You can have it heavier in some places and not at all in other places if you want. I like to give mine pretty good coverage, pretty full coverage, but less is good too. You do you. I'm just here to inspire you. Alright, so that should be good enough. Now I am going to open this parchment paper. I've used this paper pretty well for a few things here, back and front. Now I'm just going to put my, if I can open it, I'm just going to put my cinnamon on. And you'll see that this comes out like a little bumpy wax primitive candle that you would, this is how they do it at the stores, at the shops. This is how they do it. Alright, so after this, we will give it another coat of Mod Podge. I'm going to take my tweezers for a second. I'm going to grab the tip of my flame so that I can let go and put this down. It did stick to it a little. So we're going to put that down. And then I am going to wash my hands, and then I'm going to give this a little blow dry so we can continue with our craft. But this is what you're going to do. You're going to just cover it in paint, Mod Podge, and then cinnamon. Easy peasy. And when you go into all those country shops and little primitive stores where they have all those bumpy wax candles, well, they have wax, bumpy wax candles too. But when they take like a plastic candle like this and coat it, this is exactly their technique, pretty much. Same idea. All right, so I'm gonna give that a little blow dry, and then let's pick up this too. I'm gonna give it a blow dry, and then we'll put the two together. And the tag, we'll check out our tag. If I see that this is bleeding too much, I'm gonna redo my tag, but I'll do that off camera for time's sake. Okay, so I think the time ran too much, the word time. So what I did was I painted over it with black in order to just save this tag instead of replacing it. And I'm gonna write the word in a chalk marker. So I'm just gonna use a chalkboard tag instead, which will be cute too. So I'm gonna just do the same thing. I'm just gonna write Y, and then I'm going to write the H, but this time I'm going to write it in lowercase letters. I didn't like the big capital letters, but I'm still going to do the knobby knobs on the end. Alright, so this is my word, time, and I'm just going to zhuzh up the words with little balls on all the ends of any of the letters. Oops. I just draw a little circle because I'm not good. My fonts are not good. So here, that's what I do. I have terrible handwriting. I don't know why, but alright, so there's that tag. Now we'll put that aside, and now we have our little grubby candle, which is so cute. See our grubby candle inside and out. And I am not going to put Mod Podge on it right now for the sake of the length of this video. But when I'm done, I am going to Mod Podge over this with my mat, okay? With my matte Mod Podge from the Dollar Tree. But just to save time, right now, I'm not going to do that. We're going to get into, let's take another close-up look at our rusty old strainer. Found it, or it's so old, but we don't want to get rid of it. We're going to use it. We need a candle holder. You know, we live in the olden days, like, I decorate my house in primitive, so I like to think of, if it would be something they would use in the little house in the prairie, it's all mine. I love it. Alright, but listen, this is just a cute little primitive craft, and you could do this with a plastic ladle would be cute. I'm really just here to inspire you, show you these techniques. Alright, so now we're going to put our candle in our little basket here, but we're gonna put some greens around it as well. So actually, I think what I might do is just glue the greens right onto the candle. That's what I'm gonna do. And so I am just gonna cut these off real short, like little bits and pieces, so that I can just glue them on, because I'm gonna want to take this candle in and out to turn it on the bottom. So I'm gonna glue my greens right around it. You'll see, it's gonna be adorable. It is going to be adorable. Do I say that about all my crafts? I like to make adorable crafts. Alright, so let's start with these, and then if we need more, we can take more. And again, these are from the Dollar Tree, and earlier this year, I've been using, this season, I've been using them as carrot tops. greens. That's what they are. They look like to me. They look like the carrot tops. All right, so now I'm just going to use my glue gun, and I'm just going to start placing just a little bit of glue around the bottom, and I'm just going to kind of make a little wreath. Just stick those on. It flipped over. I really wanted it to lay that way. There we go. Whoops. Got my finger in it. Alright. Got my finger in it. I gotta get that sticky off, or I'll be taking off our paint off our candle. We don't want that. Alright, and now I'm gonna just keep going around and around. Actually, I think I'll stick it onto the green itself and then place it. I think that will work out a little bit better. And I'm doing this because I think it looks like thyme. I think this looks like, but if you have a better, oh, got myself. If you have a better green in your stash, that maybe you even have some real thyme, you could use that as well. You can put anything. You don't even have to have thyme. You could put flowers. You could put berries. We are going to put a little bit of the pip berries also from the Dollar Tree. But yeah, you can put anything in your basket. You know, you could even get, Hobby Lobby has some cute berries right now. They're fake, but they look like blackberries and raspberries, and oh, those would be cute sitting in this basket with the candle. Let's get this big one. Let me get this big one here. And this one. And this one. I'm trying to go in the same direction. I'm going to put this big one down, but before I do, I'm going to get my little finger protector, because I'm going to need that. And I'm going to put some glue, more than just a glob, because this is a long one and I want it to hit the glue wherever. Oh, I still burnt myself. Jill, use your protector. Oh, Lordy. Not only do I have stuff under my nails from crafting and green feet, but I usually have burnt fingers too. Alright, so I'm just going to go around and around and glue some of these on, and then I'll show you what we have when I am back. Okay, it is time to put all of our pieces together. So we have our strainer, we have our little candle that has all of our little thyme glued around it, that is going to sit so adorable in our basket. And we also have, I made a little bunch of thyme also to hang from the handle, and it's just some leftover ones that I had cut, and I just tied jute around it like that. And then we have our, somewhere here we have, I must have lost it. Where is our little chalkboard tag? I don't know where our little chalkboard tag is. It's probably right here in front of me and I don't see it. So let me put you on pause. I'm telling you, I'm a hot mess. It was on my lap, in my apron here. All right, I'm just gonna give this little tag a little zhuzhing up. I'm gonna just sand my edges, sand over top of it a little, make it look a little worn and weathered. That's the look I like. Old and weathered like me. I like my decor to match my age. All right. Old and beat up. I kind of that too, right? Old and weathered is a little better, I guess. All right, I'm just going to give this a little right on top. And then look what we have. That edges sanded. Do a little tiny bit more. Like in here, this space where there's like no words. I'm going to zhuzh that up too. So I'm going a little bit harder in a couple of spots. All right, now we have to tie that and our tag. I'm going to hang it down with our thyme, our little bunch of thyme. So we have to tie this all together. So let's cut a piece of jute. And let's tie it onto our bundle of thyme first. Just give it a little, maybe we'll just not even give it a bow. And then I'm going to take this end and thread it through, and we're just going to dangle. Let me tie that by itself also. Give it a tie. Like so. And then I'm just going to give it a little bow, like a shoelace bow. And then we're going to tie it through our handle. So let's fix our bow. It's too big. Alright, now I'm going to just take this string and I'm going to actually just give it a tiny bit of glue because I just want it to stay right where I put it, and then I'm going to just hang this right off of the handle. Then we're going to put our candle in, and we're going to wrap some white and green berry pip berries from the Dollar Tree. Glued my thumb to it. Okay. And let's thread this right through the handle, the hole in the handle up here. And I'm just going to tie it in a knot, a double knot. And I'm just going to cut those two edges off. So this is what we have hanging from our little, I keep thinking, I can't think of the word, but our little strainer. Okay, and now we're going to put our little candle in. Let's light it up. I'm going to put, oh, before we put our candle in, I want to wrap some of these green and white pip berries right around the bottom of it. So I'm just going to hold it with my thumb, and I'm going to go around the bottom of the candle nice and tight with my pip berries a couple of times. I'm going to glue it right here because I'm crisscrossing right here. So we'll give that a little glue. This candle is flickering. It is so cute. I'm going to wrap it around again. Why don't we do it 3 times? Okay, but the last couple of times are going to spring back because we're not gluing those. I'm just going to cut this off and cut it off here. Well, I can't really snag it there because I'm using my left hand. Alright, I got it. Alright, so I just wrapped it around and around and around, and I'm still holding it right now for it to stay glued. But when, oh, excuse me, when I let go, it'll spring out a little, and that will fill up our basket a little. So that's probably good enough. Alright, it didn't spring. It didn't spring. Called me a liar. It's springing, but not as much as I thought it would. So I'm just gonna unspring it a little bit. Can you see it? It's so cute. All right, so now that's gonna go in our basket. It's just gonna sit nestled in there, and then this is it. But I think this is too big, so I'm gonna take my tag off and well, actually I could probably just shorten the thyme right here. I'm just gonna snip my thyme ends, the pieces of thyme, because they're a little too long. They're hitting my design. So I'm just trimming that up a little, and we might even glue that. I think I'm going to give it a little glue, okay? So just a second. I'm going to just glue it into place where I want it. That way I know. Just gluing it into place and holding it. Oh my God, you guys. I'm sorry if I say that about all my crafts, but this is so cute. So cute. Oh, it is just so cute. Stuff that little basket with little greens and all these little trimmings. It's just so cute. And the little berries, pip berries. I want those to show a little more. Alright. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm going to stand up and give you guys a really good look at my nails. No, I'm only kidding. Look. Don't they look disgusting? Okay, but look how adorable our little thing came out. It is so cute. Look at this. This is from this side view. All old and rusty and beat up and weathered like me. And then we have our little chalkboard thyme, our little plastic greenery that looks like thyme. It is so cute. And then we can either hang it from this, or you could even put it a nail and just hang it like that from the back. This is what the back looks like. I am so pleased with the way this came out. So cute. I'm gonna go hang it in my house. And I hope that you guys love this too. And yeah, I really enjoy doing this. Let me know in the comments below. One way or another, I won't do all primitive crafts. I want to make sure that there's something on my channel for everybody. But yeah, let me know if you like these primitive crafts, and I will do more of them because I definitely decorate that way in my home. A lot of my crafts I'm not keeping. I give to, actually my own doctor's office takes my crafts and decorates with them in the office. So this is kind of kitcheny. I don't know if I'll give this one to them. I think I'm going to keep this one myself. Sorry girls if you're watching from the doctor's office. I'm not going to say my doctor's name. So yeah, I think I'll keep this one, but it is so fun to make these. I just love, and you can't go wrong. You're making it look old, beat up, and weathered. I mean, really, how can you make something rusty look bad, right? When you're trying to make it look bad and rusty. All right, everybody. Well, I hope that you are subscribed. We're going to do a giveaway soon, so you'll want to be a subscriber. I want to say hi to all my new subscribers. Thanks for saying hi in the comments, and welcome to Angel Creations. It's so good to have you guys. If you wouldn't mind sharing this with your friends, family, and social media, that would be a great thing to do. All of us YouTubies need that. And okay, until the next time that we see each other, I just love this. This doesn't even look like I made it. It looks like it was already old. I'm just saying. All right, everybody, until I see you again, which should be tomorrow, be good and do good. Bye now.